Wow, Mr. White, how do you do it so perfectly every time?
Practice, Jesse, and experience. I've been teaching chemistry for the past 25 years and applying chemistry my entire life.
Well, teaching, I got that bit, but how do you apply it?
Believe it or not, Jesse, you use chemistry for everything. Right from the boiling of water to the clothes you wear, chemistry is applied everywhere. And the application of chemistry is called chemical engineering.
But then, how does it affect my life?
Guys,
The water you drink is so pure. The purification of water, we make it happen.
The fuel your cars run on and the extraction of petroleum and various other components from crude oil, we make it happen.
The clothes you wear come from the textile industry. The production of polymer cloths, we make it happen.
We help you when you are unwell. Production of prescription drugs, we make it happen.
Due to depletion of conventional fuels, we discover alternate fuels. We make it happen.
believe it or not, Jesse, we make it all happen.
Fine, fine. After such a tiring day, all I need is a cup of coffee. Mr. White, care to join me?
Yeah, sure, why not? Jesse, can you get me a cup of coffee?
Sure, why not?
Thank you, Jesse. What's this, Jesse? I prefer a decaf.
Decaf? You know, I've always wondered what decaf coffee is and how coffee is decaffeinated.
Have a seat, Jesse. I'll show you.
Jesse, decaffeination is divided into two types, solvent-based and non-solvent-based. The solvent-based process involves indirect solvent process and direct solvent process. The non-solvent-based process involves the sweat water process and the carbon dioxide process.
Okay, please elaborate, Mr. White.
Okay, the first is the indirect solvent-based process where you soak coffee beans into near boiling water for several hours. This takes out the flavor and oils from the coffee beans. The beans are separated and washed with methylene chloride, Jesse. Now, this solution of the solvent and caffeine is heated and left to evaporate. The beans are now put back into the original water so they can absorb the oils and flavors again.
That's interesting. And what are the other methods, Mr. White?
There is one more similar method called the direct solvent process, which shouldn't be tough to understand.
Okay, so can you tell me about some non-solvent based processes?
It's good that you find it interesting, Jesse. The next one is the Swiss water process, where we first soak the beans in water, removing all the flavor and caffeine from the beans. Then we drain the water that has all the caffeine and flavor and pass it through an activated charcoal layer. The pores of the charcoal layer are sized so that the larger caffeine molecules are captured and the smaller flavor molecules are let through, which results in caffeine-free but flavorful water. Now, new beans are added to the water where the water takes away the caffeine but the beans retain the flavor since the water is already saturated. There's a similar process called the carbon dioxide process. The CO2 process is environmental friendly but an expensive one, which is why it is not used.
To maintain the safety at all points of time in any process is the most important thing to do. Here are a few safety points that needs to be taken care of.
Mr. White, I've heard lots of myths about coffee.
Yeah, Jesse, there are lots of myths about coffee. You can see some of them now.
You know, consuming regular coffee in moderation boosts our energy levels and also increases the number of calories we burn throughout the day. But don't forget that having excess amount of regular coffee can cause an increase in heart rate, anxiety and depression. That's why I prefer decaf.
As we might have already observed, caffeine can be really addictive and can cause withdrawal symptoms like headache, nausea and drowsiness.
But regular decaffeinated coffee increases concentration and problem-solving abilities. It also boosts the brain function.
You know, new research shows that drinking decaffeinated coffee may result in an increase in blood lipids, which may increase your chance of getting heart disease. This is not at all true for normal coffee.
Decaf coffee benefits those who are sensitive to caffeine. Caffeine may make people jittery and may interfere in sleep.
And the talking goes on and on.
With new interventions and innovations.
Arises new issues to discuss and invent.
New theories and memorandums.
This is life.
It is life.
From the start till the end, it is not a thing to learn.
Cut short the borders and fly because there's no limit to the skies.
Discover and create with flowing thoughts from your brain's gate.
With reactions we grow.
It is the life we all know.